This is Michael Popok for the new Legal AF YouTube channel. Donald Trump is trying to bridge the gap of an historic deficit with women voters in polling who favor Kamala Harris. No surprise here. 21-point advantage for Kamala Harris. So how does Donald Trump make up that difference with less than 40 days to go to the election? He's going to have to lean into what we usually refer to as the bro vote. He's going to have to go to disaffected white males under age 30, under age 25, the mixed martial arts crowd, those that support basically misogyny and don't know any better, but to vote for a person who is a racist and tries to act like a dictator and a two-bit strongman. That's the only way. I think the pollsters have given up and thrown up their hands on, and the campaign people for Donald Trump, whoever they may be, in addition to Laura Loomer, the alt-right podcaster, I think his campaign has given up on trying to make him a more disciplined candidate. He's not going to be a more disciplined candidate. He doesn't have the ability, can't grow a brain or a conscience or intellect or political strategy between now and the time of the election. And people are going to be starting to vote very, very soon. In some states, it's already started. And voter registration, of course, is rapidly coming to an end. And the vote will be taken early ballot, early voting, mail-in voting, absentee voting, and stand-in-line voting on November the 5th. And Donald Trump's 21-point disadvantage with women should not be underestimated. I know that Donald Trump often outperforms his polls. People are embarrassed to tell pollsters they're voting for Donald Trump, but when they're behind the curtain, electronic or otherwise, of a voting booth, they vote for Donald Trump. And sometimes the underreported polling is somewhere between 1 and 2.5 point advantage, but that doesn't make up for a 21-point gap. Make it 19 points. Take off 4. Make it 17-point advantage for Kamala Harris. The reality is that women make up the majority of America. 52% of America, women. The majority, vast majority of voters are women. Women vote in larger numbers more reliably than men. And could you think of an election where women and people who love and support women are more energized to vote, to jump over every hurdle, every attempt at voter suppression put in their way by MAGA and Republicans in red states out there than this year? In 22 states, a woman is a second-class citizen without the right to a bodily autonomy, reproductive health, making decisions about her body, and the right to choose. 22 states. It literally is a terrible, terrible episode of Handmaid's Tale. In 22 states, you can be criminally prosecuted. In fact, there is reporting that women being prosecuted related to their pregnancies or miscarriages or stillbirth or the like is up by double digits. Over 200 women, and that's an underreported number, have been prosecuted. Some put in jail. Some to give birth in jail showers by themselves, since the Dobbs decision ripped away a woman's constitutional right to choose. No, more pointedly, Trump putting on his last gasp of his alt-right Supreme Court justices, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, joined with Alito and Thomas, took away your woman's right to bodily autonomy. That's on the ballot. It literally is on the ballot in about 10 states. The right to choose as a state constitutional privacy right is on the ballot to reinstall in states that have now banned it, whether a woman has a right in that state to be a first-class citizen or not. And they should be. Women have been treated like a disenfranchised minority for too long in this country. And it is time for them at the ballot box to have their voices heard and those that support them. And so you've got this 21-point gap. And if Donald Trump stands in front of a crowd of people and says it was really both icky, predatory, and disgusting, and showed how little Donald Trump really feels about women and sees them and looks down on them when he says, you need a protector. You're weak. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but just barely. You're weak. You're sick. You can't buy food for your children. You need a man to protect you. Talk about the ultimate display of mansplaining. I will be your protector. Right. the misogynist, sex abuser, 24 women coming out against who said they were sexually attacked by Donald Trump while he was married, criminal, convicted criminal. He's going to be your protector. So how does Donald Trump make up the 20-point gap? He's got to be more dirty, more underhanded than he's ever been before. Going after Kamala Harris and her race and her self-identity as Indian and Black American and American first. He has to go after her by making disgusting, sexist comments that she slept her way to the top in his campaign, in his ex. I can barely read his ex postings. I can't tell whether he's a late night huckster trying to sell me some sort of product through an infomercial, or he's running for the presidency. It's all mixed together. He's selling silver coins with his face on it. He's selling trading cards. No, wait, he's attacking Kamala Harris for her race or her ethnicity, or he's calling women out, saying that he should be the protector. And then he's grifting with some cryptocurrency scheme. And then he's back to eggs are too high priced. I mean, it is a jumble. But it reflects the weird stew that's inside of Donald Trump's brain. How to close a 21-point gap with J.D. Vance next to you, right? Who's become an anchor, an anchor thrown overboard with Donald Trump. You know, that's the gurgle sound you hear. He hates women too. Listen to his statements about women. Women who don't have children don't have the right to be first-class citizens or vote. They shouldn't be making policy decisions. Childless cat ladies. Remember that? That was just a month ago. He's got a thing about cats, obviously. You know, it's a childless cat lady who's about to eat her cat, apparently, in the world of MAGA. So to make up the 21 points, I don't know what you do. And that's Donald Trump's problem. He's got to lean into the bro vote. He's got to pony up and shoulder to shoulder with Dana White, who was accused of, when he wasn't running UFC, Ultimate Fighting Club, he was abusing his wife, sexually assaulting her. He's got to go to these crowds and get this adulation because that's his oxygen. People screaming and yelling his name. He only goes to places where he knows that's going to happen. And if he shows up and he sees, only 1/3 of the arena full, then they put ropes and canvas and lighting to make it look like it's a bigger crowd. Except we're able to see the entirety of it. He doesn't have anybody at his rallies, but he's got to lean in on this kind of white 20-something voter and hope that they come to the polls. The problem is they don't vote. They don't vote. They don't vote in the large numbers that women vote. And women that support and men that support women are going to polls in droves because of what's on the ballot. Supreme Court is on the ballot, literally. If Kamala Harris doesn't win and isn't able to fill those two inevitable openings on the U.S. Supreme Court that are going to happen during the next term by natural causes or otherwise, including resignation or impeachment, right? We're going to have for the next 20 years a 7-2 MAGA right-wing supermajority. Even if you just believe in our democracy and the balance and checks and balances, you don't want that. We live better as a people when it's 5-4 conservative left. Center left. That's better. And it can be. It could be a democratically dominated Supreme Court overnight or within the first couple of years if Kamala Harris wins. And if Donald Trump wins, it's going to go 7-2 or it's going to be baked in 6-3 super MAGA right-wing majority. You think your rights are under assault now? You think your rights have been stripped away from you now? Wait till Donald Trump gets another term and +2 on the Supreme Court side and continues to remake the federal judiciary and undo all the great things that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done. So we're going to continue to follow right here. I'm glad you're here. I welcome you. I'm gonna let you know, so you're not confused. This is the Legal AF YouTube channel that we just formed about a week ago at Legal AF MTN, at Legal AF MTN. Free subscribe. Help us get to 100,000 free subscribers in our first 10 days by this weekend. You can help us build this pro-democracy channel in collaboration with the Midas Touch Network. I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics and bringing it to you right here, the only way I know how, without blowing smoke or sunshine, and bringing it to you straight. Find out what 40 million people a month already know, that Legal AF is the home of a unique brand of legal and political analysis and commentary like no other in the YouTube world. Join us here for new shows like Unprecedented about the United States Supreme Court that I'll be doing regularly with a rotating group of guests and anchors and brand new content you can't find anywhere else but on this Legal AFMTN YouTube channel. So until my next hot take, until my next exclusive content only here on this new YouTube channel, free subscribe. This is Michael Popok reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.